Let's talk Big 12 championship. Number 4, Texas Tech versus number 11, BYU. This game's at noon Eastern on ABC. Texas Tech currently 12.5-point favorites with a total of 49.5. Do not worry, BYU fans. We do not have any Texas Tech fanatics here for this preview. We are not a Texas Tech podcast. We'll say that for the last time. We're not a Texas Tech podcast. We saw in the first matchup in Lubbock, though, man, convincing 29-7 victory by the Red Raiders. The game really was not as close as the score. Bear Bachmeier really struggled against that top-notch defense that Texas Tech puts on the field. They forced him into a lot of bad decisions, a lot of bad throws. He was 23 for 38 for only 188 yards. So that Shieldwood-led defense did its job, and he definitely looked like that true freshman that he is. Talented true freshman, but he looked like a true freshman in that game. What has Bear Bachmeier learned from that first game, watching it back on film, right? You got to know where number 10 is at all times on that Texas Tech defense. You got to locate him pre-snap every single play. You got to have your eye on him post-snap every single game too, because he's an interception machine. He's a tackling machine. He's the leader of that defense. We thought he should be, up for the Heisman for a long time. He's not going to get any credit for that. He'll win the Nagurski Award and all the top defensive player awards, all that stuff. But you got to know where Jacob Rodriguez is at all times.
Yeah, and they've got to be able to keep David Bailey in that defensive front off of I'm dead, bro. I love it. They've got to be able to
switch up.
You'll switch up. They've got to be able to keep David Bailey in that defensive front for Texas Tech off of Bear Bachmeier. Like, he didn't have time to throw. That is where that game was absolutely won, was at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. BYU just got whipped up front, and then they uncharacteristically, which we got made fun of, by the way, from our last preview, when our boy Josh Abbott was mentioning the turnover margin and the turnover battle, and he thought that Texas Tech would win the turnover battle. And up to that point, BYU had not been turning the football over. So they're like, how can you predict that BYU is going to turn the football over because they're not going to turn it over? Well, I think they were -3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
In that
turnover battle 3-0, and they outgained BYU by 113 yards in that first game.
Yep, 100%. And so I wish that I knew right now. Maybe, I'm literally sitting here searching through Twitter right now as I'm talking about this. BYU fans, comment in our YouTube, please. Is Chase Roberts, is he playing in this game? Wide receiver, their best receiver, is he playing in this game? Because your best players for either of these teams, especially for BYU, against how good Texas Tech's defense has been this year, that's just tough, man, when you got some of your best weapons are going to be out in this game. But BYU, man, is definitely them in Utah and now Texas Tech. But BYU and Utah are both so good up front, and they overwhelm teams in the Big 12 physically from the physicality standpoint. And BYU has done that to everybody they've played this year except Texas Tech. Like, since that Texas Tech game, that game against TCU, they just beat the brakes off the Frogs there in Provo that night. Yeah. We both had them in a best bet. Yep. And then they went to Cincinnati. I had them in a best bet. I think you did too, because they're vampires and those games were at night and they're going to win games at night. This is what BYU does.
Yeah.
And they handled Cincinnati in that game as well, handled them physically and everything else. It starts up front, man. BYU has to be able to at least hold their own. Like, a Kalani Sitake BYU team cannot get whipped up front. That can't happen. If you lose the battle a little bit, that's fine. But, dude, they got dominated. They couldn't run the football. They couldn't protect the quarterback. Texas Tech ran the ball well against BYU in that matchup. And if you remember, like, Texas Tech went up and down the field. They kicked like 800,000 field goals in that game.
Yeah.
Inside the 30-yard line.
Oh, yeah.
So, it could have been worse than what it was.
Yeah, BYU defense did its job in the red zone. They're 6th in the country in red zone scoring percentage on defense.
Mm-hmm.
They held them to 5 field goals.
Yep.
So if they can get that turnover issue in the first game, if they get that fixed, man, they can actually extend some drives, which, they've struggled to extend drives all season. They're 68th in third down conversion percentage on offense. They could definitely be in this game in the fourth quarter if they get both those things fixed. On the Texas Tech side of the ball, man, We don't. I think that for that game was the first time we all saw Baron Morton was clearly not 100%.
Yeah.
And how healthy is he now? Because like I can't imagine he's healed up a ton since then playing. I know they had a bye week for West Virginia, but like I can't imagine he's like 100, obviously 100%, right? So
Yeah.
has the BYU defense noticed something that Texas Tech did or does, since that first game that they can key on and try to shut down?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, again, I'm gonna keep going back to it. They've got to be able to slow down Cameron Dickey in the running game. Him and
Mhm.
Jacoby Williams had a lot of success in that game against BYU the first time around. That's where it starts. They've got to be able to slow down the tech running game. And you're right, man. Bear Bachmeyer has to be so much better in this game. And I mean, at this point, Texas Tech, they're either number one in the country against the run, or they're still top five in the country against
Yep.
in rush defense.
Yep.
LJ Martin and BYU and Bear Bachmeyer and overall that rushing attack is really good. But what did it do against Texas Tech the last time they played? I mean,
I think
I
my
just
LJ Martin had 35 yards.
right. So my question then again is like, unless BYU forces turnovers in this game against Texas Tech, what all has changed just drastically since these two teams played
I mean,
earlier
Texas
this
Tech
year?
gives up 69 yards per game on the ground.
Yeah, I mean that's a Shieldwood staple. And I mean, again, I know BYU's really good, also too, like overall defensively. They're
Yeah.
really good up front, really good physically. But again, they ran into a buzzsaw against Texas Tech the last time they played. I expect a fantastic and a great effort from BYU in this game. I'm not going to make it more complicated than it is, man. They will have to force turnovers and mistakes from Texas Tech to
Yeah.
win this game
Yeah.
because matchup per matchup overall on the perimeter with Texas Tech's wide receiver core and Baron Morton, I do think is a little bit healthier than what he was when this first matchup took place. The fact that Texas Tech is as balanced as they are offensively and their explosive ability on offense, and obviously that defensive front for Texas Tech being what it is. Bear Bachmeyer did have two really good games against Cincinnati and TCU, but no offense to Cincinnati and TCU. Those two defenses are absolute trash
Yeah.
compared to Texas Tech
Yeah.
in comparison. So BYU's got to be able to protect Bachmeyer. They've got to be able to slow down the running game, and they've got to win the turnover battle. They do those three things, they can keep it close and maybe win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the few weaknesses Texas Tech has is it's 102nd in penalties per game.
Yeah.
They commit a lot of penalties. BYU's only 47th. They're the more disciplined team. I really do. I think BYU has the potential to keep this closer than the first game for sure. If they can get that offense of Texas Tech off the field, don't let them drive down and keep the methodical drives down. And yeah, they were settling for field goals, but they were still putting points up, and you weren't putting anything up. I mean, they were shut out till late in the fourth quarter. But I think BYU can keep this closer than that first game. Being in Dallas, there's gonna be a lot of Texas Tech fans there.
Yep.
Give me the Red Raiders to pull this out. I'm gonna say 23-13, a little lower scoring game here in the Big 12.
23-13.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it is a defensive slugfest there in the Big 12, which is normally not what they see in Big 12 championship games. Yeah, I'm going to take Texas Tech in this matchup as well. Again, I just don't know what's changed drastically from the first time that these two teams played each other. I do think BYU's played well here down the stretch. Last year, when they lost their first game of the year, they kind of finished the season limping into the offseason last year, not doing as well before they blasted Colorado in the bowl game. So they promised after the Texas Tech loss this year that they were not going to do what they did last year and were going to finish the season strong and not let that happen. And they were going to get back to a Big 12 championship game to play Texas Tech, which they did, which they are. BYU is a very, very proud football program, tough physically, well coached with Kalani Sitake. Bachmeyer is a freaking dog at quarterback. I just think, again, man, that the matchup, this is a tough matchup for BYU because Texas Tech is so good up front on both sides of the ball. I mean, what they did in the offseason in the transfer portal on the both sides of the line of scrimmage is unbelievable.
Mhm.
And I just don't think BYU is going to be able to have enough success offensively to be able to win the game. I don't have a best bet, but if you made me take a side, I would take BYU plus 12.5 and but Texas Tech to win. So I'll take Texas Tech to win around 10 points. I've got it right now. I think I've got it around like 31-21,
Okay.
27-17, somewhere around in that range. And Texas Tech wins by around 10 points in this spot.
We'll be back on Sunday, noon Eastern. It's the college football playoff reveal. We're trying to get some stuff worked out we're obviously going to be live on our YouTube channel and on our X. We're trying to get some stuff worked out with some other people and some other folks to try to get some, multiple streams going here. So stay tuned for that. Again, like Lance said, follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok. Post out all that information on X. We'll let you guys know as soon as we know something on a Sunday. So we'll be back for that. And then after that, we'll just kind of start prepping for some of these first round games. So really that's it for us right now. Conference previews, our conference championship preview is always a good episode. It's always fun to just dive deep on just a couple matchups here and don't have like 6 or 7 matchups to like focus on. So really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, timestamps are in the episode description. If you want to just click on any of the championships you want to watch, they are right there below. So again, for Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.